Okay. I think he's not at the mic. Yeah. Just to respond to Sarush and then to Ongo. First point. Okay. As a non-Iranian, non-Israeli, I'm saying this. Yes, I think Israel is preparing to attack Iran again because they just ordered. U.S. just agreed to supply about $600 million worth of weaponry to Israel. I believe these are all weapons that have been, lost in the war, 12-day war, and so U.S. is trying to replenish them. This, I believe, is the first of the long list of weaponry that Israel has requested to replenish, and some of them include the JDAM missiles, which are the precision missiles with which they kill scientists and so on. So I think Israel will attack. So this is one point. Then just going back to the other points that Ongo and Sena have been discussing. This I'm just sharing my experience on this app and also on Twitter because these are the two apps that I usually follow. I have seen many Iranians come here and support Israel and condemn their own country. No, I have never understood. I have a problem with my own government, but I would never condemn my country when it is being attacked. Okay, and the other thing is you have to understand. Everybody has to understand that the U.S. and Israel are no friend of anybody in the world. The same thing they did in Iraq. They said we are living in democracy. We are freeing the people of Iraq. The same thing they did in Libya. The same thing they did in every other country where they went to war. Okay, and none of those countries are happily surviving today. They are all broken into pieces. There is no democracy in any of these countries. People are much worse today than they were before America went to war with them. And their wealth is being stolen by America and Israel. Okay? So literally they are being fleeced. So this is what America does along with Israel. Everywhere they go for the wealth. And incidentally, recently, Iran found a huge well of gas was discovered, I believe, in Iran, which is something like worth about $5 trillion. Okay, and America has always has its eyes on the petroleum, on the natural resources that countries. This is America's policy. Right or wrong is something different. So anybody who comes, any Iranian who comes here, you may have your problem with your government, with the IRGC. You have a right to have. If you disagree with them, fine, you can have. But I've seen on videos people cursing Iran, people justifying the bombing of Iranian infrastructure by Israel in the last 20 war, and justifying. And I have heard on this app, I even know the name of the lady who said that yes, so what if children get killed, Iranian children get killed, if that means IRGC will be eliminated. I don't believe that is the right attitude. So anyway, this was my perspective.
I agree with you 100%, and I think people who have heard me know my stance on the matter. I never called Hamas a terrorist organization. I always called them a resistant group because I believe they are resistant to occupation. And I know what America does in the region. I know they always bring war to exploit the country. They want to get their resources. On top of the resources, Iran has a geopolitical position that can be a corridor between West and East in the economic sense. But at the same time, I understand my people being angry and being brainwashed. It's not that. I think when they support Israel, they are mostly being ignorant rather than like liking evil. They've been so oppressed that they think backward. They think like Israel might give them freedom, which is false. I know it is false, but they don't know it. I don't know why I think it's the propaganda machine of Israel that think that way.
Walaikum assalam.
Salam. And they have this stupid stance, but I think it's from not knowing the reality, not knowing the history.
And Brother Fayyaz, I have a question for you. How many Iranian did you see? How many of them? Around 50, 60, 500, 600 person in Iran. And how many did you see on the streets of Tehran supporting IRGC, supporting the martyrs? Can you please tell me the difference between the numbers?
Sena, I do not, honestly, I do not know the numbers, but what shocks me is, I totally understand that there are always two sides to a country, okay? One pro-government, one anti-government. I totally get that. It happens in every country. Iran is not an exception. But the number of Iranians, who are supporting Israel simply because they are opposed to the Iranian government and IRGC, this I have not seen
where do
any
they
other
live and
country.
how many are there?
I believe
I have
most
seen
of
videos. They're not even more than 50. 50.
Probably.
50.
But that's what I'm saying, Sena. Like there are so many other countries that have issues. There are people who are living abroad, not in their own countries. They don't come and support the killing of their own people.
Yeah, and you know what? Just let me tell you why. Yeah, and just let me tell you why. We have been poisoned by the media by 300 channels for the last 46 years. In the human history, we have a record, brother. 24 hours a day. All these Arab countries like Saudi, like Kuwait, these and that are paying to England. England made BBC International, Manoto, Farsi One, this and that. There are 300 channels which are poisoning our brain 24/7, brother. That is why, if you want to know why. But after all these 46 years of poisoning our mind, go look at the videos in Tehran for the last 12 days or any other cities in Iran and see how many people are supporting IRGC and their government. And go take a look at those asylum seekers in England or in Sweden or in Germany. No, not even Germany. In England and Sweden, I think. There are less than 50, brother. And they're waiting for the permission. They're cooperating with our enemy because they want the permission. They want something like $600 a month. They're daydreamers, brother. They never get what they want. They will be used like toilet paper. When they're done
May I
with them,
ask Sina a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Sarosh.
I was wondering if I can pose a question to Sina and maybe some other Iranians here as well. Is it just a matter of media brainwashing, and which of course does exist quite tremendously, or is it something deeper associated with the Iranian psyche? If you look at the history of Iran for the past 150 years, there was no shortage of Iranian traitors at different levels of society. At prior chapters of our history, in the Pahlavi era, in the Qajar dynasty, there were many of these men and sometimes women who came from the system or had any influence that were easily bought either by the British or by the French or by the Russians, and they gave away the Iranian national interest at the lowest price. So I was going to ask, is there something perhaps deeper about Iranians? I mean, I'm including myself.
Yes, it is something deeper, brother, because we have been a colony for the last 300 years. They have never let us think. They have never let us know the truth. Even in Safavi, that we were a big power, they had missionaries in Iran from Spain and Portugal and England. They were poisoning people's mind that your country is that, your country. No, you're never gonna grow. You're nothing. everything is good about Europe, everything is good about Ottoman Empire. For 300 years, brother, we have been poisoned. If we want to get rid of it, it doesn't take one generation. It takes at least 5 generations if you work on it so hardly. And now we are in the 4th generation. And now, alhamdulillah, shukr khuda, now our situation is much better than 40 years ago. 45 years ago, I'm 61 years old, okay? I have been in the war, you know? When we were in war, in my family, even in my own family, they were siding with Saddam Hussein. They were thinking that Saddam Hussein would save them. But alhamdulillah, right now, we have so many few people thinking that Israel can save them. And believe me, many of them are not Iranian. They're trained Persian in Israel. I don't know if you have seen documentaries about that or not. They have a organization which is called 8,200 Army. Every day they train Persian. They teach Persian to some people. Even in this clubhouse, they collect all our Persian language conversations with different accents. And they use it against us. We are alone. This is a nation who wanted to be independent 46 years ago, and all the countries on earth were helping Saddam Hussein, and then after Saddam Hussein, Israel and this and that against us. But here we are now. We have destroyed half of the occupied Palestine in 12 days. And Fayaz said that they will attack us again. Fayaz, I give you my word for that. They will never attack us in the next 30 years, brother. But inside Iran, yes, they have a lot of programs. Now they're working with Kamel Demokrat, Mujahideen Khalq, Jaish al-Adl, Khalq Khuzestan, Khalq Azerbaijan, Khalq Turkmen, and Khalq Kurdistan. They are paying them big money to do it from inside. But from outside, brother, I give them my word, they will never attack Iran again, because what they have seen in... I want you to go to Facebook. There are many reels available there, and you can see what we have done with them. Yes, BBC don't show you, CNN don't show you. If you want to see the truth, go to Facebook. There are many reels in there, and they will show you what we have done with them. And we have shown them a little bit of what we have. In the last 2 days of war, brother, those warheads were not TNT or C4. They were tactical. And they know that, and we know that, but they don't say it in media. They say Iran is defeated. But go to Facebook.
Sina, I agree with you. If you know, as a common man, if somebody were to ask me who won this war, I will say Iran won this war. Okay. The reason I'm saying is I don't rely on any of the Western media, but I also read into Israeli media. Just recently on Channel 13 in Israel, Israeli Channel 13, there was an analyst, Israeli military analyst, who said that 18 sensitive, most important infrastructure, which are basically military and intelligence infrastructure, have been destroyed by Iran. And he said on this channel, and he speaks in English, he says on this channel that, we expected missiles from Iran, but we did not expect the precision with which the missiles were sent. And he says that if another 2 weeks had, if the war had continued another 2 weeks, we would have probably toppled the IRGC in Iran, but we would have probably lost most of the significant sites in Israel in that process. We would have lost everything that we had. And there is also a report that says that 30,000 buildings, not houses or individual units, 30,000 buildings have been destroyed by Iran, and nearly they give there is another number that was given 30,000 buildings and so many roads, X number of this. I mean, there's a data that has been published now by Israeli media itself. Yes, I know Israel will think twice before attacking Iran, and I also wish and hope that you are proven right and I am proven wrong. But like you said, they are trying to say that we won and we are going to do it again. So I agree with you. I am with you. I agree with you, and I hope that you are right and I am proven wrong.
And brother, another thing, we are waiting for that, brother. We are prepared for that. We have made many missiles, many drones, and everything. And there we have Sweet Ball. He says, yeah, killing people is your profession, Sweet Ball. But you know what I'm proud of is that my generals goes into the front and they die to keep their country safe. They're not like yours. Yours will go to Greece and Cyprus to hide, under the tunnels. No, my generals are on the ground. They will die, they will get martyred for their country, and that's what we are proud of. And you will never understand that, because you only believe on this life. We believe on the other side as well. We believe in martyrdom. But you don't. But Mr. Sweetboat, kill us as much as you can. The more you kill us, the more we get succeed. That is what we have shown you in the last 46 years.
Sweet Bull writes that Iran has older technology. That is actually false. So the missiles that they used, they are supposed to, the missiles that were sent into Israel, they are supposed to be about 10 to 15 years old. And Iran said that we have not even used the latest missiles, latest technology. And after the war, Iran, if the news reports are to be believed, maybe Sena or G can confirm, after the war, Iran has signed, is negotiating with the Chinese to buy their air defense system, including the J-10 fighters, which are supposed to be the most advanced fighter today in the world. They can beat literally French Mirage fighters, and they also say that it can match F-35s. So Iran is negotiating with China to buy these weapons, and they are not going to, Iran is not going to sit. The whole Arab world, they may side with America because they are either traitors or because they think siding with America is beneficial financially for the kings and the queens and the crowns. But the fact is that every Arab country today is, in the bottom of their heart, they are happy that there is Iran over there to counter Israel, because they know at the end of the day, they are never able to say no to Israel, and any day they say no to Israel, Israel and US will attack and destroy that country. So now they know that there is Iran. They may not agree with Iran, they may hate Iranian or IRGC and so on, but they are happy that Iran is there as a counterweight in the Middle East to Israel. So this is very important, and Iran is getting stronger, Sweet Bull. Actually, they were stronger, much stronger than what Israel expected. And I will share the name of that analyst who speaks on Channel 13, so that you can try to Google and find out that clip, that video about him talking about Iranian power. So the point is that Iran is much more powerful than the whole world expected, and it's only going to get much stronger. That's it.
And even China or Russia, even if they don't cooperate with us, we have no problem, brother. Because what we have learned is that in this world, brother, you have no friends. The only friends are Muslim Ummah, not even their leaders. As you see, the leaders of Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, everyone. They never helped Palestine. They even helped Israel. But we have Ummah, brother. And from now on, I will tell you something else. Yemen will not let them sleep well, brother. Every day they will have a gift from Yemen. Our Yemeni brothers are there and we are here. We are united and we're going to finish this job, even if it costs our lives, brother. No matter how many lives we give up, because we believe in martyrdom. We believe that we have to fight for our freedom, for our independence. And that's it. If we wanted to give up, brother, we would have given up 46 years ago when McFarlane came to Iran and said, yeah, let's be friends with us. Yeah, we are America. We will help you with this, with that. No, America is great Satan, brother. American system is great Satan. If you shake hand with Satan, your hand will be broken. That's it. We are not going to give up. We are ready for it. Iran is a big country. How much of Iran they want to destroy? How much of it? For the last 12 days.
Their intent is to destroy all of it. First of all, they want to partition it so it will be easier to manage it by proxy. And then they're gonna take everything that they can. They don't care about the history. The first time that Trump threatened Iran, he threatened the historic sites, not the Islamic Republic of Iran, as he claims. He threatened the historic places. But if you look at it at the Chinese perspective, they have a lot of good deals with Iran. So they don't. I don't think they would want to miss on that and have European and America have the full access to Iran, because then they would lose whatever access they have right now. Same goes for Russia, I think. So I assume if a full-on war breaks out through the region, I think China and Russia would assist Iran.
But I don't believe so. Because Russia will have its own problem. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum salam.
Yeah, G, go ahead, G, make your point.
Yeah, no, for American to get engaged with Iran, they have to come in fully. Otherwise, by supporting Israel, they have done that. It's not something new. Don't think this is something new. No, it's been watched, it's been recorded, it's been under radar. Every flight they take, what they bring in, what that goes out, comes in, it's all been perfectly recorded. I don't think American directly come in. If they come in, there is a big war. That's something that China and Russia will take advantage, and they will sweep the Taiwan, and the Russian will sweep from the other side in Ukraine. In the last 12, 13 days of war with Iran, you should check out the Ukraine side with the Russian, how much they advanced already. That's a very bad news for them. They already know China is ready for that moment. American cannot get involved directly with Iran and to succeed. This comes from Colonel Douglas MacGregor. It's just simply too far out. Simply too far out for an American to come directly want to engage. It would be disaster. Take a look what's happening in Afghanistan, Syria, and Iraq. It took them almost 20 years. If they want to attack Iran, back then they had perfect opportunity to do that. But they didn't. They knew going after Iran is totally different. If it took them 20 years and run away from Afghanistan and the rest, getting involved directly with Iran will get them another 50 years in the war. That's something simply Americans don't want it. Because yes, they're gonna damage, they're gonna hit Iran severely, and same goes, Iran is gonna hit them severely. And I don't think Israel will ever get up, and I don't think there will be any place called Israel anymore. The war between Iran and Israel, Iran is not for the Israel. Iran is waiting for the American to come in. It's a big trap for them to come in. American noticing that is a big trap because they fall for the Yemen. They got so much hit, and their navy, they were hiding from the media. They know if they come across a region, they have to bring those big, giant target of those air carrier. They're not safe anymore. 50, 70 years ago, those air carriers were something we can count on them. Not today. Those air carriers are very, as much as they are dangerous, they are very vulnerable. From 1,000 miles, they can get hit with a missile. Before Iran hit them, Yemenis will hit them. Even if Yemen doesn't hit them, China will hit them. And some other countries that will come across, and Iran will hit them. So we gotta think about it, how American wants to come across.
And brother, in the last 2 weeks, it was not Israel we were fighting with actually. It was France, Germany, USA, Qatar. Everyone was helping.
They were helping.
Azerbaijan, Turkey, everyone was helping.
So, Azerbaijan is in deep trouble, from the Iran and Russia. From two sides, Azerbaijan is in deep trouble right now. Very soon, you guys are going to hear very bad news for the Azerbaijanis.
Sena, you're right to say that Iran fought against the European Union, the USA, and almost every other country in the Middle East. And you know what? Some of the Iranian missiles had to dodge nearly four interceptors, that is, interceptors from four locations. One in the Persian Gulf, one in Jordan, one in Iraqi territory, and finally within Israel itself. They were still able to reach Israel and hit the targets. Wow, you guys rock, Sena. I have a different kind of admiration now for the Iranians.
There is something perhaps that we have to note here. Our Iranian friends are quite right that a conventional war with either Israel or the United States would be very costly to the Israeli-American side. But they certainly are aware of this fact. You can see that the Israeli military structure is predominantly based on what we in Persian call bezan va darro, which means hit and run. And it's not capable of maintaining a prolonged war. 12 days, it's a very, very good example of the limits of its tactical military operation. Even in a war in Gaza, despite the fact that their opponent is just inferior in every sense of the word, they're quite exhausted. Having said that, in recognition of this limitation, the Israeli military strategy has now somehow shifted to this rather obscene word, which is mowing down strategy. They just wait for the grass to grow and they just go in, just mow it down again. So for Iran, I don't really think it's really quite likely that there would be a conventional military campaign in a prolonged period of time, because that certainly is not in the advantage or in the interest of either Israel or the United States. They would not do something that is detrimental to them. They would come in, especially, of course, on the Israeli side, drop a few bombs here and there, inflict some pain, and then, of course, rely on the international pressure to arrive at a point of a ceasefire, which does beg the question exactly why would Iran possibly, under any condition or circumstances, accept a ceasefire? See, I'm just speaking from a point of a military strategy. There was absolutely no rationale to Iran or for Iran accepting a ceasefire as it did. So I'm not entirely sure why it did so. Maybe it's a cover to allow them to produce a few nuclear warheads within the next couple of weeks. But I think it's important for us to perhaps consider that a prolonged military campaign in which Iran would be able to really exhaust Israel, or of course in that sense America, or to even bring the American naval fleet in the Persian Gulf, perhaps would be unlikely.
No, I have a perfect answer to that. It's more of a tactical than actual what you're looking for. Okay, this is what's happened. They took Iran on a surprise attack. Okay, there was a lot of inside traitors, like they've been preparing this war for 10 years. Cutting Iran in a surprise, Iran had enough defense system. It wasn't like at the beginning, couple of hours, yes, but it was back up and running perfectly. Everything was perfectly. And you will be very surprised later down the road, you will hear that how many Iran had down the F-35, 16, and so on. It's just not for the public to see. That's just a very serious matter for the high official, and that's on the side. So for Iran to bring the best the air defense system turning on, it wasn't a perfect time, because Iran found out that there's a lot of these little small drones are flying around. They had to get rid of it. So it's more of a tactical. To continue, yes, they could continue with the same scenario, but they could have get hit. From the other side, Israel was getting so severely hit. Iran to try to manage this, to not to go further, escalate this, and take care of this little bunch of traitors, spy, and get rid of and clean the mess inside. That was a surprise. There were so many. You guys see, there was a 3-story building was full of the drone, this and so on and all that. So Iran is going to take care of that. They had whatever surprise they had, just brought them on the table. So there's no more surprise. Iran will take care of this, and Iran on the next round is much more ready than this one. This defense system that Iran has, no doubt, is working perfectly. That's absolutely no doubt, because I know that because it's been down many airplanes. Again, it will come down. And many, not only airplanes, many those sophisticated, high, expensive of the drone, high altitude fly of the Israeli was down. Like, I could just name a few of those good ones. Like each one of them $30 million. Hermes was one of them. Yes, it was one of them. And those are very, very limited number that Israeli have it. They thought the Iranian defense is weak maybe right now. It's perfect to bring in, say that, bring in those F-35, 16 maybe around. Maybe just bring those strategically drones inside. And so taking at them. But they were one by one down. They got very scared, especially on the last couple of days. Iran hit them so very sensitive target. One of the most I would say sensitive target that was painful, I repeat that 10 times, painful, was a Wiser Man building. You just go find out why they were crying and bringing all kind of, they can just take a look how many from the outside, the president, different countries are coming inside, and they directly go on top of that particular building. It's called Wiser Man. That put the Israeli behind on every technology you want to name that inside that building went down for years and years and years to come. And they had huge invest on that one. So that right there says it all. Iran had a nice target and everything. So for the next round, perfectly is Iran ready. I think it's going to be a lot fun for the Israeli this time, because Iran is going to come a lot harder. Not like it. If they dare to try again. Well,
it's not just the Weizmann Institute that was one of the prime locations that was hit by Iran. They also hit the Kriya in Tel Aviv. Kriya is the Pentagon, is equivalent to the Pentagon of the US. Imagine hitting the Pentagon. So they hit the Kriya. You hit the Kriya. So that was actually the first infrastructure to be hit by Iran. And then Iran also hit the headquarters of Mossad's Unit 8200, which actually is the unit that plans, that creates conspiracies within countries, like this beeper attack in Lebanon. This was the brainchild of Unit 8200 that has been hit.
Yes.
And in Beersheba, they also hit what is known as IDF C4I, which is the communications and intelligence heart of IDF. That was in
Beersheba. Yes, Microsoft, Rafael,
decimated.
military industry,
Complete.
Haifa refinery, Haifa port, all of Israel is gone, brother. Go look at the video.
Two of the Air Force, two of the Air Force airports, Netzarim and one.
Yeah, army base, yeah.
The army bases. They are totally gone. Israel lost several F-35s. So yes, that's what I said. That somebody, one of the Israelis, listed the number of sensitive infrastructure that has been, and he lists 18 of them. He says 18 most sensitive, most important infrastructure have been hit by Iran.
Yeah, also their bases. There was a soldier who recorded a video. All of the bases where the soldiers were sleeping got hit, and they're not allowed to record it. But he recorded himself inside a school. They're sleeping inside schools with no beds. They're sleeping on the ground, and he's begging Trump, please end this war. This was like 2 days ago, after the 12-day war with Iran. All of the bases where the soldiers are sheltering, they can't even stay there anymore.
And Iran has also been able to hit, IDFs, some of the main key people in IDF. That is not, that is not being revealed by the Israeli and Western media, but it is being discussed about in Israeli media. Within Israel, these TV channels discuss about it, that so and so has been hit, so and so has been killed, and so on. There was even a report that the Mossad, the head of the Mossad, has been killed, but we haven't got any confirmation so far from Israel on that. So maybe little later they may come up later on. But one thing I just wanted